Your families are our families. Your children are our children. There is no difference for us because we are sharing with you in just as intimate a way that feeling of loss and concern.
First name again? Okay. Well, Christchurch, struck by an earthquake, and in a second, hundreds of people, because there are still 200 missing and 113 confirmed dead, hundreds of people may well have perished. And I think all around the world, everyone watched in horror. But because of our historical connection with New Zealand, I think British people were probably at least as horrified as any other in the world. And we have to extend our sincere condolences to the great people of New Zealand, and we get the chance to do that now by talking to Rikki Swanell from News Talk in Christchurch in New Zealand. Thank you very much indeed for joining us, and please accept our heartfelt feelings about the incredible events which unfolded, not once but twice over these last few months. Tell us just what the situation is now. Are there any people potentially left alive under the rubble?
Yeah, hi George. Look, unfortunately not. The whole country basically is now bracing to hear a list of names. They don't expect to find any more survivors. It's now more of a recovery effort. But look, there is always little glimmers of hope. You know, the human spirit is a wonderful thing. So we hope more than anything. But they do have serious doubts that they will find anyone alive. Now, look, we're into day 5, and there hasn't been any live rescue since Wednesday afternoon New Zealand time, and rescue is now really focusing on a couple of the major buildings, which I think are the ones that you would have seen beamed around the world, and that is the Christchurch Cathedral. Rescuers have ruled out finding any more survivors in that building, that historic, iconic building to Cantabrians and to New Zealanders. They think there are 22 people, up to 22 people buried in that building. They also have doubts about finding anyone alive under the collapsed CTV building. That's Christchurch Television, where as many as 120 people may have perished. There's also still work going on the Pine Gould Corporation building. Those are the 3 major buildings that I think, as I say, you would have seen the most footage from, where a lot of the destruction, or the major destruction, seems to be. We're also getting a few reports into our radio station that there may be people, bodies trapped inside properties in the Redcliffs area. Now, that's a coastal suburb of Christchurch that you also would have seen, where the cliffs have basically come down on houses, on the local primary school, things like that. So that suburb was evacuated, but there is sort of fears that more of the cliff face could collapse.
All of this, Rikki, was an aftershock. Is there a danger of an aftershock of the aftershock?
Well, yeah, I mean, you're right. It was 6 months ago that Christchurch had its first big shake, and nobody was killed in that one, which is, you think back, just miraculous. And there was severe damage, and now you have this one. There is sort of thought that this could have been a new fault line. All of those things, I think, will come to light. But people in Christchurch have had 6 aftershocks this morning alone. I mean, that city and that suburb, that whole region has been basically shaking for 6 months. They've had another 6 this morning, one measuring about 4.4 on the Richter scale. So as you can imagine, any time, any sort of movement, people are terrified, and they're very tired too, because they've been experiencing this for so long.
It is almost unbelievable. This means then that there will be over 300 dead.
Yeah, well, we're not certain at this stage, because what they're saying is we've got 123 confirmed dead. There are 228 people missing, but some of that missing will all probably in and amongst that 123, if you sort of understand what I'm saying,
yes.
Because they are still doing victim identification. Only 6 people have
missing
officially
people who
been
haven't
named.
been identified as dead yet. Yeah.
will be included amongst that missing. So, I mean, whatever way you look at it, that toll is pretty horrific, and it's still very much a sense of disbelief around the country when you look at the pictures on television, the calls we get in here to our radio station, that this is going on in our own country. It just looks like a war zone.
And presumably in the TV building, there were many of your journalistic colleagues in there.
Yeah, look, CTV has been around for many, many years, and it's quite often a place where a lot of journalists cut their teeth, because there is a broadcasting school in Christchurch, which is where I actually studied, and many of my colleagues and friends studied, and a lot will do internships and things like that at CTV. The people, the faces of the missing from that building are well-known names in the community. They've been there providing a service for many, many years. So, and this is the thing. I mean, New Zealand really is a village. We're a very small country, and even if you haven't been directly affected, you know somebody who knows somebody, or someone who's had an impact in that sort of way. And as this list of the missing and the dead, those names become more apparent, I think that's when we're all going to be feeling the shock all over again, because that's when we'll realise that, yes, we did know somebody, or a friend knew somebody, or things like that.
Rikki, thanks very much indeed. Rikki Swanell from Newstalk ZB in Christchurch in New Zealand, telling us about the, well, extraordinary 6 shocks, I think, this morning in Christchurch. One of them 4.5 on the Richter scale. Amazing.